Welcome to Wildcat Sports. I'm Flint and I'm here to bring you all the updates on the winter sports season. It's looking like a great start to the season. Last Tuesday, on December 13th, girls basketball played against Marshwood. After a close game, the final score was 45-41 Marshwood. Freshman Nia Avery was the top scorer of the game with 21 points. The Wildcats are now 0 for 2 for the season. Their next game is tonight, December 16th, against Cape Elizabeth here at YHS at 6:30. We talked to junior captain Ava Brent about her thoughts before the game.
We played Yarmouth last Friday and we lost, but we had a good comeback. And then today, on Tuesday, we play Marshwood. We're a pretty young team, so we're just kind of working a few things out right now, but I hope we can pull out a win.
York and Yarmouth went head-to-head in the December 9th boys basketball home opener, leading to a 40-37 victory from York. The track students have been working very hard to prepare themselves for when their meet starts in January. The amount of participants in track this year is less than we're used to, but we still have one of the largest teams in Maine with 70 students participating. With the sports center closing, they've had to find new ways to practice. When it was warm outside, the solution was easy, seeing as they could just run around outside. But now that it's winter, they've had to find other, more creative ways.
Now that we're inside, we'll be running in the halls of York High School, so you have to beware because there are a lot of hurdlers, jumpers, throwers, all over the place. So just be careful when you roam in the halls after school.
Practice is held every Monday through Friday, but when meets start, practice will be held Monday through Thursday, and meets will be on Friday nights. On Saturday, December 10th, the Wildcat wrestling team faced off against other local teams in the Sullivan Duels. Here's a story about the tournament.
On December 10th, the York High School wrestling team held the Ken Sullivan Duels, named in honor of the late Ken Sullivan. These duels were a massive event. In round 1, York beat Cheverus 51-24. Anthony Thompson, Orso, Ronka, Josh Neal, and Holly getting pins. In round 2, York decimated Marshwood 63-6 and moved into a pool to play against Kennebunk. In round 3, York managed to pull out a win against Kennebunk 43-29. York crushed the game and even managed to get to the championship final. They went and faced Sanford. They had a tough battle, but Sanford ended up on top. Head coach Brian Thompson said some words on how he thinks his team did and how he thinks they could have done better.
I think we wrestled well. The Sullivan Duels is historically kind of a first event for our team and for a lot of local teams. It's named for Ken Sullivan, who was a longtime wrestling coach here, who was tragically killed in 2001. It's kind of the starting point of our season, and when we do well, it's kind of a good bellwether of how we're going to do during the season. The team finished second out of 8 teams, won its pool with key victories over Cheverus, Kennebunk, and went on to face Sanford in the finals where we dropped that match. And interestingly enough, we're going to wrestle Sanford again today.
How do you think your team's going to do this season?
We should be all right. We should be in the mix. Nice collection of, or mix of veterans and newcomers filling all the weights. That's really key to fill 13 or 14 of the weight classes, be able to score maximum points at the regional and state tournament. Finished 3rd last year in Class B at the state level, so we're trying to match that, at least get a spot on the podium and put some guys into the New England tournament.
Despite the loss, everyone played great. Nate Foote went 3-1 on the day and had a pretty solid couple rounds. We talked to Nate about how he thinks he did and how he thinks he could have done better.
I did pretty good. I went 3-1. I only have 1 loss, and I learned from it, and I wrestled good.
How do you think you do better in the future?
New techniques, trying new stuff, and just wrestling hard.
Many see the Sullivan Duels as a forecast of the team's future, so things are looking up. The coach seems to have high hopes for this season, and so do we. But be sure to go out and support the York wrestling team in the future. I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
That's all for Wildcat Sports. Now get out there and support our winter athletes. Have a great holiday and break.